Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 12. I am Ubong Kings, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Biakuran. First, let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari dismisses claims of intentional creation of COVID-19 to harm Africa. Governors lose bid to stop $418 million deduction by federal government. Canada offers $40 billion to compensate indigenous children. Details of these stories and more in a moment. And first in our news today is a report that President Muhammadu Buhari has advised Nigerians to disregard theories claiming that the COVID-19 pandemic is created by foreign countries to depopulate Africa or to make money for Western pharmaceutical companies. President Buhari gave the charge in his Get Well Soon message to the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, who was recently diagnosed with COVID-19. The president also warned that refusing to heed non-pharmaceutical instructions on staying safe from the virus was capable of setting government's efforts at containing its spread back. He therefore advised Nigerians to turn out fully and get vaccinated. In the meantime, the Nigerian authorities have initiated diplomatic steps to reverse the country's inclusion into a red list by some nations. The Minister of Aviation, Hadik Sirika, who represented the chairman of the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, confirmed this at an emergency briefing by the committee. Sirika said the move was in the best interest of all parties, noting that the country is expecting a positive response within 1 week. He said the committee evaluated developments on the relationship between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, stating that the federal government's position was in line with established international civil aviation organization protocols and the spirit of the bilateral aviation safety agreement signed with the UAE. Sirika insisted that Nigeria's sovereignty remained paramount and that mutual respect will be upheld as a guiding principle to benefit the people. And in another development, President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the 142.2-kilometer Kano-Maiduguri Road, Section 2, Shuwarzini-Azare, connecting Jigawa and Bauchi states. The event brought to 5 the number of roads the president has inaugurated within 18 days. President Buhari, who was represented by Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu, asked benefiting communities to take ownership of the roads, which he said were built to the highest quality of design and workmanship. The president described the project as part of Nigeria's road to prosperity and asked for the road to be fully utilized to the benefit of the people. And away from that, the federal government says the nation's water infrastructure is at risk and requires, 6 trillion naira worth of investment to fix issues affecting it. This was made known by the Permanent Secretary, Water Resources, Didi Wilson-Jack, in an opening remark at the 28th meeting of the National Technical Committee on Water Resources in Abuja. According to Wilson-Jack, the theme of the meeting came on the heels of dwindling government resources and the need to sustain infrastructure and the sector for effective service delivery, meeting national targets as well as Sustainable Development Goal SDG 6. And in a separate development, President Muhammadu Buhari has urged Oba Ewuare II of Benin in Edo State and the palace to ensure safekeep of the returned Benin artifacts from the United Kingdom. President Buhari gave the advice in Benin during the return of the two artifacts to the royal father in his palace. The president, who was represented by Nigeria's High Commissioner to the UK, Sarah Faishola, described the development as a breakthrough as Nigeria and other African countries work to repossess their artifacts domiciled abroad. He noted that it was the duty of Nigerians to ensure that the highly prized objects were preserved in accordance with best global practices. Meanwhile, the Oba of Benin, Oba Ewuare II, has received the legal documents of the deed of transfer of the return of the bronze cockerel and the Oba bronze head recently handed over to Nigeria in the United Kingdom. The legal documents were perfected at the palace of the Oba when the signatories to the documents appended their signatures in the presence of the royal family, traditional rulers from different parts of Nigeria, as well as friends and well-wishers of the Benin monarch. The Nigerian High Commissioner to the UK, Tunji Ishola, who also appended his signature, said he was already in physical possession of the bronzes, but that a deed of transfer was imperative in accordance with English law. The signed documents were eventually officially handed over to the Oba as it marked the 5th anniversary of his coronation. On the Paris Club refund, governors of the 36 states of the Federation have lost in their bid to prevent the federal government from deducting $418 million from their monthly allocations to settle their contractual obligations. In a ruling at the Federal High Court, Abuja, Justice Inyang Ekwo refused a motion for interlocutory injunctions filed by the 36 states. The governors had sought to further restrain the federal government from making deductions from the money pending the determination of the main suit they filed. Justice Inyang, in refusing the motion, said he would rather hear the notice of preliminary objection filed by some of the defendants, challenging the court's jurisdiction along with the substantive suit. And in education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) says only computer-based centers that are 100% prepared will be used for its 2022 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. The board announced this in its weekly bulletin of the Office of the Registrar in Abuja. JAM said as part of its preparations for the 2022 UTME, it had concluded arrangements to validate and accredit centers to be used for the exercise. It explained that the development followed the outcome of its virtual meetings with its chief technical advisors, zonal directors, state coordinators, and technical officers for the accreditation of the board's examination centers. JAM Registrar Ishak Oloyede said the validation exercise was necessary to assess the conduct of the 2021 UTME and to identify areas requiring improvement. And now on to security matters. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has described 2021 as challenging, citing threats to internal security by the activities of bandits, secessionists, and kidnapping syndicates. He made the comment while speaking at a meeting with senior police officers in Abuja. Commending the senior police officers for their efforts in maintaining law and order, the IGP reminded them to brace up for the challenges that 2022 may present ahead of the 2023 general elections. He also announced plans for the launch of operational vehicles in 2022 to boost the police's performance to tackle insecurity, while recruitment of 10,000 police constables was being worked on. He charged the officers to remain professional in the discharge of their duties and uphold the rights of all persons, adding that